Why, hello everybody. Welcome to another FX Evolution weekly webinar for the 26th of May 2021. This is, of course, our live market analysis series. As always, now on YouTube, live on the FX Evolution content YouTube. Make sure to subscribe if you want to view every Wednesday. And of course, for members, we're posting the private group videos here from now on as well. So make sure you subscribe as well. Not that you'll see them, but get them in the Discord community. We'll be sharing them through there. My name is Thomas Atkinson. As always, I'm joined by Tyrone Abella. Can we hear you this week, Ty? How are you going? Tyrone? Might need to unmute, man. I know he's there, guys. All right, I'll keep going. Hopefully he comes back in a second. So, of course, this is how some of us feel about the cryptocurrencies over the last couple of weeks. April 21st to May 21st. Now we're trying to get back our health after all of that, but I think it's a pretty good one. So quick risk warning, it's important to understand that any information contained in this webinar is purely for educational purposes, and the information presented must be considered only general in nature. The information provided does not take your specific needs or circumstances into consideration, and you must look at your own personal situation and requirements before making any financial decisions, and seek independent financial advice if necessary. So let's, as always, take a quick look at the charts. Hopefully we do get Tyrone back in just a few seconds. I know he's around. There he is. My goodness.
All right. Yeah.
What happened to you?
I don't know.
Talk up, Ty. It's too quiet.
Hi.
Too quiet.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to tonight's webinar. I heard Thomas's prelude, and it is very, very exciting. And I did love, I love a bit of Game of Thrones action, no matter in whatever context it is. Love it.
Oh, poor guy. Shame for him. All right, so pound CAD type. I don't know why I'm going to start here, but why not? Because I had this on the chart and I was looking at it. It's like, it's a CAD. It's something you like, Ty. Do you like this pound CAD? This resistance?
It is resistance. It is. Look, it is. Yeah, I'm not going to fight it, but the other, I mean, I hope we're going to have a look at the US dollar CAD tonight, because that one is starting to excite me a little bit. There's a couple of things that are happening on that are starting to get me a little bit keen again. So, yes, I do like this one. I think it is at a good level. It's definitely the 20s holding it up. It's a role reversal as well. We know that. I think you're right there. I think it has got the capability of doing both here. I'm not totally convinced this is the end of the retracement for it. I'm going to watch it very, very carefully, but I would like to see what it's going to have to do for me is to actually make a new low on that particular time frame.
You want a new low under here?
No, not that low. No, only the previous low. So I want to see a lightning bolt off that, off this level here. So if we get a lightning bolt and we get a close, maybe just below 170, I'd be happy with that, and I think that would make pretty good shorting down to that previous low there.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
It needs to do it though. I wouldn't be taking that trade straight up. I think it is a little bit channely at the moment on the smaller time frame, and I think it could do either. I agree with that. I really think I could play this one either way. I'm not convinced it's going to do anything with certainty, but I think if it does either of those moves, I think it'll definitely reach its take profit without much trouble. That I think I'm pretty comfortable with.
Yeah, I think it's got two ways to play, and both are relatively solid. Speaking of US dollar CAD, why don't we go over there? What time frame would you like on this one, Ty?
The daily is probably the one I am most interested in, because this is the one that's capturing my imagination. Look, the reason I like this one and the reason why I'm starting to get a little bit keen on it is because the 120 is doing its job. It's really it's held up this price now. Like, it had a serious stab. Like, this was falling, like a pretty decent knife, the US dollar CAD. We know this, but we're getting some serious action now. Like, we're starting to see the wicks really start to reject, and I think it's everything is just starting to look a little bit like when you go down to like even the 8 hour or the 4 hour, you start to see how it's really starting to flatten out now. Like, it's starting to, the momentum is starting to shift. In my opinion, I think it's starting to look a little bit stronger. I'm not willing to jump straight in, but I tell you what, it's getting to the stage where if it breaks some of these key highs, this has got a long way to go up. I think it's got hundreds and hundreds of pips on the way up. It's got a few pit stops that you're gonna have to take profits on, but that level that you've just drawn there is the key level for me. I think if it breaks that 120, I call it 121. If we break that 121 level above that zone, that's exactly the trend line I was talking about. If it breaks above there and above that zone that we've got, I think it's good for about 250 pips. I really like it up to around the 123 to 123.50. So, and I know it's a big move, but this is a pretty solid consolidation zone that it's hit at an extraordinarily key level. So, one to keep an eye on. Okay, this is one that you want to be watching. If it breaks that really, really important zone, I think it could be happy days.
We'll move over to some other pairs here. I know things like New Zealand, US dollar are actually breaking out to new highs here as we speak. So basically some real strength coming in here on the New Zealand. And it's kind of reversing everything that was going on. It was finding some weakness. Now we're finding strength. We might have a daily close through here tomorrow, Ty. What are your thoughts on, we closed above 73. All of a sudden we get a pullback back here. We got resistance, resistance, resistance. Could we be getting a little lightning bolt action here on smaller time frames through the next couple of days?
I've got to say that I actually do love the New Zealand Prime Minister. I heard her on the news today. I think a little bit of this action is the chatter about the potential interest rate rises that they're talking about. They're talking about raising interest rates in the very near term. But she's just very good at what she does. Very diplomatic. They asked her about China, actually, because they were talking about Australia and how we're siding with the US and putting apparently a lot of army bits and pieces up north to help defend just in case China attacks, apparently. And they posed that question to the New Zealand Prime Minister, and she said that, you know what, she doesn't bite. They asked her, does she worry about what she says, that it may or may not offend China? And she said she couldn't care who it offended. She says it how it is. And I think it says a lot about that country. And I think that's probably why she's talking about interest rates like it's going to happen. I think everybody else tries to hide behind it. She just come out straight out and said, we think interest rates are going up in New Zealand. I think it's having a positive effect on their currency.
Yeah, so it's moving here, looking towards the strength. Hopefully the daily closes above. Then we get a little bit of a pullback back to the 73 and move on to the 74, if not possibly even 75 over the next coming weeks. Interesting
one,
one,
doesn't it? It does look good.
Looks fine. I think it looks all right. Odd, obviously weaker than that. So when you look at the Australian dollar, it's not quite showing the same type of strength as the New Zealand. This one's like, God, what do you want to do here? Weekly, weird, daily, strange, 4 hour. I mean, it's trying. Like, I guess you would say, oh, we've got a little bit of resistance break, but a lot of false breakouts here. The only thing that's really held true to me is just I've always had a line down here, Ty, 77. I've still got a support there. I've still got an alert there. And I've got something at the 78.20, but realistically, I'm taking that with a grain of salt. I want to see serious. If we close that, I want to see a pullback, and I want lightning bolt. I want real lightning bolt.
Absolutely. Everybody knows my thoughts on this. I've been talking about it forever. It seems to be trapped in this zone. I like the zone. I think it's going to be it's provided us some really good trading opportunities. But I agree. If it breaks above 78, we want to see the lightning bolt. Then it's all the way to 80. And if it breaks below, it's all the way to 74. And I don't care which way it goes. It's giving us good opportunities inside this channel. It's been great, really. But again, you need that lightning bolt above. And I think when it does break, I think it's going to go that 200 pips pretty quick. I think the 80 is an absolute formality for it if it breaks that 78 with a lightning bolt.
I think so. I think big moves are coming for that if it can get through. Dollar index continues to be weakening. However, it is having a bull-bear fight after having a very small closure underneath yesterday. And I mean, it's really contentious whether that's even underneath. There's a wick, but it didn't close underneath the wick. Now we're rejecting, and we're at a point of support resistance. You can see here on the daily ahead of the US market session open. We go to something like the 8 hour, pretty consistent line down. For any real bulls to come back in, I'm looking for a closure above this trend line towards the downside, similar to what we did with the US dollar yen some months ago and even some weeks ago. Unless it does that, Ty, I mean, for me, I'm still short the concept of more bearish than bullish. But anything could happen here, and I didn't see enough yesterday in the daily close.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think there's anything can happen. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. yeah, I think anything can happen, and it's just one of those ones where it's a bit of a watch and see. I think you don't want to trade every single pair. I mean, you want to isolate the ones that you can actually get something from, and this is one of those ones. I'm not overly keen on things that can do anything. I'd rather a little bit more direction. So I think it's just a bit of a watch for me.
Euro on support, but at the same time, you start dialing into the smaller time frames as per our previous webinar we did with Pepperstone just then. You've got possible little double top protections here, but yeah, you need to see more. Very tough to go against the trend here. Another really hard one. I do think the one teller that if this closed underneath these wicks tie, it might have a little bit more shorting in it, is how many wicks there are. 1, 2, 3. That's 3 rejections. And we're getting through both moving averages here, the 50 and the 20, at the top of what's been a pretty consolidated, nice move for some time. I think a closure under here actually might create scalp downs. And I could actually see the US dollar come through. But is it strong? No. Is it counter trend? Yes. It's one of those ones where you're kind of saying, well, maybe it's a 6 out of 10. A 6 out of 10 is not that good. So it's one of those events where you might look at it, you might say, these are the things I want. But guess what? If it was in the direction of trend, it'd be so much better. Now,
Yeah,
what I mean by
absolutely.
that is
Yeah.
you get, imagine if you had this. And then you get a breakout above. Wow. Yeah, yes. We do that one, but this could be better.
It could be better, and it is starting to look a little bit, toppy, really, isn't it?
Pound US dollars, we continue through our pairs here. Pretty boring in this one. I don't know if you have another opinion, Ty. We didn't talk about this one today. Week 8 hour 20, I guess, is holding, and there are rejections. Does look like it's trying to go long. Maybe a closure above 142, something we'd be looking at this week. I'd probably be more likely to go for the consolidated conservative entries. I think there's a lot of conservative entry styles that I would prefer than the aggressive breakouts, purely just because we've already had some really aggressive breakouts down here. We've had some big moves, and it makes it hard to think there's going to be another huge move. And we know this is a critical zone. We know that it struggled here before, and it's super important. But what are your thoughts? Conservative only here?
I think conservative only. I think it needs to break that level now, like for mine. I know, look, the 20 is holding it up. It's done a pretty good job. But this, to me, looks a little bit like the euro in that I think it's starting to top out a little bit. But, in saying that, a daily close above the 142, I still wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take the break initially on this one. This is one of those ones where I would be waiting for that lightning bolt pullback. If it pulls back, I think it'll be a great trade. But an initial break, I reckon it's suspect, very, very suspect. It's just toppy. Just one of those ones where I'd be looking at it very, very closely. Probably just paying more attention until we actually get a breakout and then a retest of that zone.
US dollar yen consolidating between our favorites, the 20 and the 50. This usually means that we've got some consolidation. We've got a long leg doji in between here as well. In the daily, closure above signals long into the highs. I think that Ty and I talked about it before. We kind of feel strongly about that. And as you mentioned, Ty, this slinky as well. If we get down below the long leg doji, then we could continue down into these lows again. There should be a trade here on the US dollar yen. And I think this is going to be the key. Break above, break below, closure, signal towards that direction.
Yeah, love that doji. I think it tells us a lot about what's going on here, actually. It's pretty good.
It's a pretty nice one. Pound yen, similar type of thing, except for here we've got the stronger pound. We've actually had a fairly nice support that's come through at the 153.50 over recent weeks, and I would have that on my chart. I would also be like breaking down this pattern that we're seeing right now. Are we seeing something here that's telling us this market wants to go more long? I mean, obviously, US dollar yen's going to rule the day here. But imagine if we close above this shooting star. We get a closure above the 154.50. We've effectively snapped off a new peak. We've created some wick purchases. And if you bring a trend line through that, it would also be snapping off that as well, Ty. Do you think that's enough, 154.50, for longs to be entering back into the pound yen?
Yeah, it needs to... I think it'd want to close up there, but I'd probably want a daily close above there, just to make sure that we've got 3 full markets worth of action above it. I think if it gets up there, I reckon if it gets up there, it's going to be a big move up. I think it's got a long way to go, But yeah, this is one of those ones where I want to probably see it happen first. Yeah, look, it's a very, very important zone. When there are really important zones, I think you got to pick your poison a little bit, don't you? You don't want to be the first one out there,
No.
trying to attack it. I
Yeah.
think it's just a case of watching it for a little bit. Really interesting price action, and I think what you'll actually find, everyone, is that you'll actually learn a lot by just watching. So don't ever be afraid just to watch. And I think you do learn so much by. You don't have to actually trade to learn. I think it's really important. When Thomas and I first started, we felt that we basically had to trade to learn. And although you do get a lot out of trading and learning at the same time, what you'll quickly find, and it's a lot cheaper, is to actually watch and learn. And by watching, you actually understand the price action without a bias. And I think that's the important part. When you place a trade and you try to trade it, what you do psychologically, you're allowing a bias to come in depending on the direction that you've actually gone for, right? When you're actually watching, you don't really care about which way it's gone. You're kind of hoping it might do one thing or another, but you haven't got a vested interest. And I think that's when you really appreciate what the buyers and sellers momentum can actually do. So don't ever be afraid just to check it out, watch it, and then trade it the next time you see that sort of pattern, because you've got a little bit more authority then.
Odd or ASX, Ty, we'll get off the currencies for now. I think the currencies, we just need some good ones like New Zealand and actually, I want to go Euro Pound as quickly. Euro Pound I saw was back on support, and I was looking at that in the 4 hour. So here it is right here. Obviously catching a falling knife right now, but on the smaller time frames, a little bit of lightning bolt here could sequence in some purchases up to the 87. So just have it on your chart, watch it out, and see how it interacts. Right now, too dangerous to get into, but I did see that one. We'll move over to the ASX 200. Yeah. Ty, what are your thoughts on 4 hour chart?
That is a dead set evening star. That's actually formed, done and dusted.
Futures.
The only problem is it's sitting right on the 20 moving average. If it breaks that 20 moving average, this is going to 7,000. Make no mistake. But it has to break it. So it's a really, really interesting time for this particular pair at 9 o'clock at night, because it's absolutely only driven by what's happening in London and the US futures, of course. Okay, but there is no question that is an evening star on a 4 hour at a point of resistance at the 7100, but it's got the 20 right in front of it. If it breaks that 20 and we get a 4 hour close below that 20, 7,000 is the next target for this one.
Yeah, so we got every 100 is kind of like resistance support at the moment on the ASX 200. It's been pretty boring, pretty terrible trading really, unless you're just kind of sitting there going for each 100, which is totally valid. If you're looking for big moves, Mo, it has not happened. US 500 or S&P is really where the bigger moves have been. And look, we talked about this last week. We talked about the strength that was coming back into the market. In fact, the SPX really gives us a better idea here. And I still think everything, I mean, I'm kind of bullish on it. You guys know this. The reason why is because it's still sequencing correctly. I mean, basically we had those gaps. We saw, of course, the big bullish pressure come through, Ty. We saw a close above 4180. We saw a retest of 4180 yesterday. And now, will the bulls come back in? We've also seen most people seem to be incredibly bearish on the market right now. And look, there's totally valid reasons. I get it. But if most of the retail community are really bearish on the market, I think the market has a tendency to go up during that period. And we've also seen that huge amount of calls come out of the market as well. Do I have it? I think I've got it up here. Check out this chart, Ty. So this is the amount of retail call positions opened. And you'll notice that we had a huge spike here. And it was all in tech, those calls, and tech did nothing. And then over here, it was all in hyperstocks or hyperstocks. And that's superiorly dropped off since they've been crushing them in the market. So it's that type of time where I see a chart like this and I see all those calls getting expired. And I think, well, now Wall Street can actually move it up because they've taken all their money. Now they want them to come back in, overextend, and then they'll push them down later this year. I mean, Ty and I both think there's going to be another correction. Ty, your thoughts?
I think that the other correction is going to be inevitable, and that's assuming this one's finished. But Yeah, and if it doesn't, look, like I said, it will. It just will. We know it will. So I'm not even going to say if it doesn't. We know it's going to. But it's not going to happen probably until about late August, September. And that's just seasonal. That's just not be having a guess. That's seasonal, right? We know this. So there's no reason why it wouldn't do it. But yeah, I think. I mean, are we going to see a 4,500 market? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's probably going to float somewhere between 3,900 and probably 4,300. And I think that'll be just fine. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's probably healthy. If the market consolidates up here for a year, that'll be fine. But look at these stats. September is terrible. Terrible. Worst.
But July is so good. So, and it's just so good. So that's my problem here. Like, we're going along at the end of May into Memorial Day next week. And at the same time, we've got this incredible month. Not just yet. Obviously, June is a whipsaw month a little bit, but then we've got that big July. So does that mean that the second correction comes that August, September, October area somewhere in here? I'm starting to think so, and I think we'll probably continue to watch the positions and price action through that.
History tells us that it will, and I believe history, and I think also what I like to use as a bit of a guide is that when we are looking at history as our guide, what we find is that when the market's a little bit uncertain, that's when it generally lends itself to what history has done. So just like it gravitates to very key zones when the market is uncertain, which I believe it is, right? No one, if anyone told you it was going to 5,000 right now because the economy is so strong, well, they're just idiots. Right, so no one knows that can be that strong, and there's really no reason for it to be that strong. That's the whole point. So, yeah, but is it weak as well? Probably not. I mean, there is enough stimulus. I think they're going to print enough money to hold the market up no matter what. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to see a huge correction, but that means that we've got an uncertain market. An uncertain market's going to gravitate to these key zones, and I think it's going to lend itself to gravitating to what happens in history. And all it's doing is playing the game that has been playing for 200 years, which is perfectly fine by us because it makes it that little bit more predictable. But don't be expecting it to go to 5,000 anytime soon or anything silly like that. I just can't see. That would be ridiculous. That would be ridiculous. Do you agree, Thomas?
Yeah, I don't think it's going that high, Ty. I think we're in boring times now. Let's get back to business on the 5 to 7% per annum, and that's what it is. I mean, maybe we'll have some 10 to 15% standouts. We're going to have dives that are around 5 to 12% deep, and don't expect anything bigger. I mean, that's what we expect.
And that makes a really good trading environment. That makes really good trading environment. When you've got a nice range that you can work with, technicals really start to play the game. So I think that we're kind of probably hoping for that because that way, we'll get the shorts, we'll get the longs, but we're scalping, right? Don't be expecting big moves. Like, we're going to be absolutely scalping it because I don't think we're going to see the really big moves that are going to see it, blasted to the stratosphere. And we don't think it's going to, 3,000 anytime soon either. Not unless something absolutely catastrophic happens that we can't foresee. But even then, I think they'll just turn the printer on even quicker.
Yeah, they've ruined it. They've ruined it. It's all ruined, guys. Next time we really crash, Great Depression.
They've put themselves in a position now where they can't turn the printer off. And I think the market knows it.
Yeah. We'll quickly move over here to BTC, Ty, before we go gold, silver. So we've got resistances coming through the board. Then, of course, we've got 20 moving average here on the 8 hour. This is Bitcoin. And it looks like it's going to come and kind of give that a little bit of a test from the top down. Actually, relatively technical. BTC's been in this big disaster. I mean, a lot of people think, oh, it's all a disaster. But we had that trend line coming through. And then on top of that, you've also got the 20 exponential on the 4 hour. It closed above, and that signaled, of course, a little bit of consolidation growth here, where we had the trough, the peak, the higher trough, and the higher peak that's just formed. I still think we go towards the 42.5, and then after we hit the 42.5, who knows? But at this point, we could be putting in a low here, but 42.5 is the main area I'm looking at. Your thoughts, Ty, on this, based on what you're seeing?
Yeah, it is a difficult one, isn't it? I mean, you could make a case for an inverse head and shoulders there.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, you could make that case, and it's one of the stronger ones too. The ones that usually lend themselves to a big move up. But where's that going to take it to? Did we measure that?
Inverse head and shoulders. Yeah, I'll measure it now. Yep.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, I'm not a when markets are moving like this one did, technicals kind of go out the window a little bit, but again, that's a pretty key zone. Like, we know the 48 is pretty strong. Like, we've talked about it for a while. So there's no surprise that it'll go there. Like look at the support and resistance there.
Yeah.
I'm not totally convinced in any way, shape, or form that Bitcoin is being driven by technicals at the moment. So I'm going to preface that by saying, yes, there is an inverse head and shoulders there, but I think there are bigger things at play that may override the technical. Okay, so
Elon Musk tweet.
Keep that in mind, that there are bigger things in play here.
Yeah.
And when bigger things are in play, a bit like I remember a meme a little while ago that we had Trump saying that your technical analysis is no match for my tweets.
That's true.
It's a little bit the same with Elon. So just be mindful of that. Like you all know my thoughts on Bitcoin and the coins. They're only just sort of technical, and when the market's going a little bit wild, a bit wild west if you like, technicals take kind of second fiddle.
Got some requests here for a few currencies. We'll do them in a minute, guys. Just quickly, gold. Gold's breaking out here. I still think this should resume to 1930 and then possibly even a 1960s on the cards. Ty and I kind of talked about it before. We feel pretty okay about it. You go to things like the 4-hour, compelling stuff here at the 1888. You'll notice the peak, the breakout, the series of course, higher lows coming through as much as possible, and then bang. 20 moving average. Let's hope we can move on up. Go to silver, 28 plus close, coming down, testing it at this stage. I'd love to see this thing bounce at this point. Ty, your thoughts? Bounce here, hopefully.
I got to share this. I got an email the other day.
Yep.
About gold actually, and actually this person was having almost a half personal attack at Thomas and I, saying that we only ever talk about the move after it's happened. And they were talking in particular about gold.
They should go and watch the last 2 months.
Serious? Are you serious?
I've been psycho on it.
I mean, come on. So I kindly directed them to about 15 webinars that they need to go back and watch, and they kindly replied and apologized. So that was all good. But like seriously, gold has been one of the most predictable trades over the last 2 months, I think, and I think it's been fantastic. Silver's doing the job as well, but not as clear as gold. Like gold has been, and I agree. I think 1900 is just a train stop. Really, I think it's got another move in it. But come on, to tell us that we didn't say that 1900 is a likely target, Thomas. Seriously.
Well, it's just in terms of just bullishness. We got bullish back in.
Where do these people come from?
Oh, there's a lot of people out there, man. Don't worry, I was getting destroyed yesterday for supposedly being late to the live stream. So it's all good, man. $28. That's the level I'm looking at. Basically, resistance into support. This is a key zone. I do think I would love to see a little lightning bolt, smaller time frame, followed by some resumption of the trend. Let's go over here to some of these requests. So we've got Euro PLN, Ty. Wow. That's an interesting one. Now, does that even come up when I search it? Euro PLN.
I've got to be honest with you. I don't even know what that is.
Well, it's a request.
Platinum? Is it Euro Platinum? What the hell?
I don't know, man.
I've got no idea.
I'm going to press it. All right. Well, that one's out of the cards because I've never traded it in my life.
Euro Polish something. I think it was Euro.
Yeah,
Polish.
but I don't have it.
Oh.
Well, I didn't see it anyway. Mate, if you can give me the code for TradingView, I'll have a look.
If you get a TradingView code, hey, I love looking at charts that I've never actually seen before, and we're looking at it live with everybody here, because sometimes it gives us a chance to, really show you how we apply technical analysis. No matter we hide the signal. Don't worry about this the symbol in the corner. Technical analysis, and sometimes looking at something in its absolute raw form and not knowing what the hell it is, except for its price action, is actually quite cool. So send them in.
It's fun. It's fun.
Do it.
We're having a look. We're getting the line chart out because we needed to. We're kind of just like, obviously this thing's a super downtrend. Now the main problem with trading this pair, CNH, is going to be manipulation by the government. That's always your risk. Now, it's broken through to a new low, which is pretty significant. Obviously, it's been a super downtrend. We need to go back through history as well. Probably go to a monthly, actually, and have a quick look at history. So it's starting to get down where you would expect intervention. So intervention will happen through these three lines, and something will happen to the system. Yep, closure below, very significant. I guess now you could be looking at pullbacks to this point. We've got support, 1, 2, resistance here, possible swing down to the 6.32 is a kind of the zone I looked at. I think Ty would agree. Mostly using line chart here on the daily to try to find those supports. And there's so much noise in this area that you're probably going to have to range it. So you'll have to range it, then babysit it through this area. But there's good money here. There's good money here. Downtrend's intact.
Oh, most definitely. And look at and there's the 20 holding everything up, which is nice. The pullbacks to the 20 have been working quite well.
Yeah, 20's a 1, 2 combo meal deal. I guess it got close here. So as it comes down, let's say we move a little bit lower, start to consolidate a little bit, pull back up, 20's here by that point, something like that. Yeah, bam. You've got opportunity at the 6.4 to possibly look for shorts, and it's kind of moved so aggressively now that I think risk reward may not be there to the next level. So I think it's all about the conservative entry here for this one. Polish PLN, yeah. This is not a currency I seem to have here. So let's have a look at PLNs in general and see whether I even have it here. So we'll go currency. And then, do we have any euro pair? Because remember, I can only go with what I've got in this platform. So in this platform, there does not seem to be... Oh, PLN, so it's backwards. So, no, it's backwards. It's there.
Okay. Oh, that's weird.
It's the back. Well, it's just the reverse pair. It's just the reverse of the TA that you'll be looking at.
Oh, hello.
So there's a beautiful one. Nice. That's a good trend line, actually. Yeah.
Nice one, Mark.
I think it's strong. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Daily here is looking nice. I mean, we've got... That's what we look for in trading currencies, really. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, that's not bad. Maybe we love the PLN euro reverse pair. What do you think, Ty?
I reckon it's great. I reckon it's a really good break. I would, without knowing anything about this pair, I want to see a retest of that trend line from above it. And then wait for a lightning bolt off that trend line. But looking at the potential upside on it, I think there's plenty of it. And that is what we look for, isn't it? I mean, we definitely look for that.
I want pullback here. I think it moved very quickly. And you know what? I want here. Yeah. Right there, Ty. We're going to laser eye this zone. We're laser eyed in at the 0.22 because at this point, you're going to have a 200 simple daily, very good one, and a 20 as well. And I think that could happen quite quickly. Cool.
Yep. Mark, it's that 0.22 we're looking for.
Type Euro PLN, it's there. Oh, I hate it when it's there, but it's not there. Yeah, well, there's the reversal. So it's the exact same thing, just the other way around.
But in reverse.
Yeah, there's the zone I'd target, though.
It's the same thing, of course. It's just the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, I don't mind this one. Not bad. Do we have anything else here, Ty, that you want to look at this week? You got anything?
We've covered... Oh, gee, I tell you what, we've covered nearly everything. You want to just have... Let's have a quick look at oil, because we've got a couple of oil traders in here. Want to have a look at oil.
I love oil. Yeah, I've got plenty, but it's mostly going to be stocks, cryptos, that kind of thing. I think from the currency side of things, I'm kind of waiting for more. Well, not meant to be on US 10 years. All right, here we go. But US 10 years will tell us, though, if this continues to weaken here, should send the stock market up a little bit higher. You see the US 100 is up. But I've been getting a lot of hate on calling up here, Ty. I got to say, I get guys abusing. I have to delete them. They're just so abusive in the mornings. It gives me something to do with my coffee. I drink my coffee, and you and I delete bad comments. 66.50. 66.50 resistance has been met again. Struggling with the zone. Boy, oh boy, would I love to have this one closed. Imagine if we get a close above this, guys. We've been waiting for it now for a few months. And I'm waiting. I want it because I want what I call like the sunset vista oil trade for me, where I'm done with oil. I'm actually done. I don't want to go back into oil stocks or oil anything for quite some time. It's like coal. I cut coal. I didn't trade coal other than accidentally, indirectly through things like Westfarmers years ago. And 66.50. That's the zone I'm looking at. Ty, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm kind of done with oil as well. I don't know. Here's the thing for me, right? Oil's just spiked quite heavily off a pretty low base. Gold has just gone through the roof. It's pretty unusual to see those two commodities go and the S&P 500 go with it. So yeah, it could be a little bit of a turning point for it. I don't know if it's going to be massive, but it is interesting to see these two go at the same time. Like gold's pushing above 1900, oil's trying to get above 66. Can I put in a request?
Yeah.
I'd like to see LNG.
Oh yeah. Natural. That annoyed me though. Natural gas. It always annoys me. Every time I ever look at that thing, it annoys me. Alright, we'll do it for a second now though. Resistance, guys. The reason this is so strong is the pullback here will have a quadruple touch resistance. In fact, it might be like 6 touches. So any conservative entries here should be strong to the 75, 76, and the reason is clear. That's where it went to last time. Your tell sign is going to be hitting here and seeing the nasty $100 articles. I'm telling you, when they come out, I'm going to put one on my wall. It's going to go behind me, Ty. I'm going to staple it to the wall, and it's going to say oil to $100. And I look forward to seeing the Bloomberg article on it. I look forward to it. All right, let's bring in natural gas. I assume it's natural gas you want. Finally moving back forward. This breakout was super annoying. So we got the closure up, and we've got the support. What do you think about this, Ty? Tell me more.
The Mark, I didn't enter into the chat window, mate. I just I've got like a channel. I've got you know how sometimes people say they've got like that golden phone to God? That's how I am with Thomas. I pick up my golden phone and I say, I don't need to type it in. I say, Thomas, can we have a look at...
and he says, do this for me now.
In all seriousness, I'm interested in gas because I'm interested in Woodside. I want to know why the hell Woodside is still $21.
Wow, it's the crappy
when
deals.
Oil's trying to push into 67. I just wanted to see what natural gas was doing. Natural gas is starting to look a bit positive, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but God, natural gas, the slowest commodity of all time.
It is the slowest commodity of all time, but by golly,
When it fires, though. Oh my God.
It's impacting a share that we've got, a vested interest in.
Yeah.
And this is it's good to see it. Okay, I'm quite satisfied that Woodside is at the right level for us. Nice.
Let's have a look at. All right. 2178. Look, we shouldn't cry too much about this. Actually, I kind of wanted to turn around now. I don't like. Where did I care about it? I cared about it like here. Obviously, premium is really, really hot here. Woodside needed to negotiate. Negotiate better, Woodside. You suck. This chart I don't like at all, but the natural gas chart looks a little bit better.
Look, at the end of the day, the bloody company does oil and natural gas, right? At the end of the day,
yeah, but they negotiate so badly. They don't know what they're doing. It's like a bunch of headless mice. They go in, they're like, would you like to sign a 10-year deal with me and we'll give you the cheapest gas ever? In all seriousness though, the way I'm kind of, Ty and I are looking at Woodside is we just look for the breakout of this downtrend. So as we always do, we start to look for volume. We can see here there's some largish volume that came through recently. There's a bit of changing of hands. Hopefully we get some consolidation and we're looking for breakout here. 20 moving average closure above, trend line down. Back to our 24 action.
And also, just to give you a little bit of an insight onto how we would apply an options trade today. I know we're trying to, we're doing more and more options as we're being allowed to. There are two ways that you could play this. Okay, knowing that we've got natural gas starting a little bit stronger, we've got oil looking fairly strong. There are a couple of things that you can do here. You could put a spread underneath it. Okay, that's going to probably net you a 1-to-1. There's no worries about that.
So you're talking about credit spread.
Credit spread.
Yep.
You could actually, you could get
put credit spread.
You could do a put or a call. You can't really do it. You could do a
put credit spread.
Yeah, you would do. That'd be the best. That'd probably get you the best premium. And what that's effectively doing is we're effectively saying that we don't want price underneath that little, call it a fence that Thomas just drew. We think that Woodside will be above that price at X date. Okay, so let's just say you could probably do this. It's pretty slow moving, so you'd probably do it out, maybe 8 weeks, maybe 12 weeks if you wanted to, depending on the premium. And as long as Woodside is above, say, call it probably 21. You'd probably have a spread at 21 and 20 or something. As long as it's above that spread, you're just going to get paid out. You got limited, risk really, because you're up for this is a credit spread anyway. You still got limited risk, so you're only up for the difference between what you're receiving and the difference between that dollar. So let's just say you receive 50 cents for the credit spread, and it's a dollar spread. Your worst case scenario is going to be 50 cents. Now, the good thing about options, this is why Thomas and I love it, is that Woodside could very well crash through that little fence there, go all the way to $18, and as long as it's above the $21 again, by the time it expires, we still actually get that full trade. Okay, so although it's a stop loss, it's really a stop loss to make sure you can't lose any more money. It doesn't actually take you out. This could go all the way to $10.
And stocks are notoriously nasty like that, aren't they, Ty? They give you the little
100%.
nasty wicks.
Absolutely, and that's one way to play it. So you can do a spread. That's limited risk, but also limited gain. Okay, you're only going to gain what the spread is allowing you to do. If you wanted to actually take a position in that, but you didn't want to wear the carry costs, you could just simply buy a call there. And by buying a call, again, no matter what happens to the market, your risk is limited to how much you've spent on the call, and your upside is completely unlimited. So if it blasts to the stratosphere and goes to $30, you're going to effectively make $9. So that's two option ideas that you can do, and that's how you apply technical analysis to options. That's why I can't even understand how people trade options without technical analysis. Like you're trading blindly.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you can even take timings into it. We'll do it in next week's webinar. Let's bring some timings into this action.
Oh, yeah.
We'll bring in, let's do patterns. Let's try to figure out timings for things to then actually close through. And we'll show you the power of bringing together a pattern with the movement that's happened previously with average timings so that you can then put that into your options. Now, you don't want to be a sneaky, greedy panda and go exactly to the date, but you want to be very, very close. And we'll show you how to do that. All right. Well, look, I think some things, Ty, would do a quick launch here. Guys, I know most of you are in the private group. You should all be pretty much in there, but there are a few people that get through. We've launched the new website. So if you're interested in joining the private community, look at this. Look at this beauty. Watch this. Whoa. My God, we've used graphic arts, Ty.
Sexy.
Graphic arts.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Yes. So it's all there. It's on fxevolution.com. And we've even redone the whole website. The other thing as well is really the ultimate trading stuff. The ultimate trading masterclass is like the culmination of everything together. So it's pretty cool. And we've really solidified what we're doing, how we want to do it, how we want to present it to you guys. And I think it's a really cool website. So we've been working behind the scenes on this. It's pretty much 99% done. So it's launched. And thanks to the community, of course, for helping out. Even this image came from the community. So it's a cool one. I think it works well for our logo.
Very, very cool. Just a quick shout out actually to all of the course members. If you're having trouble logging into your course, you just type, we're going to actually put it into Discord, the new website link that you need to get into to actually get into the course. We are going to slowly transition everybody in. So it's going to be a bit of a process. For those of you who have been in the old course, you're going to get an upgrade to the new one, of course, but just be a little bit patient. You still have access to the old one. But in the coming weeks, you'll get a new login to the new platform. Okay, so just keep an eye on that. But fxevolution.teachable.com, as Thomas has typed up there, that's all you need to do to get into the course until then. So it's changed so if it gives you an error message or doesn't let you in, just change the website above to fxevolution.teachable.com.
It's not gone anywhere, but yeah. So fxevolution.teachable.com, and from now on, also all content, Ty, I believe, including Q&As and everything, will actually be on this channel, unlisted in the private section of the Discord community. So to get access to it, you're gonna have to go in there. We'll have the lists. We'll put the backlog in there eventually as well, and basically you'll be able to jump on into the Discord, and it will all be in one place. So the private community will always be able to see everything in the Discord and access all of it through that point. And the whole point of this is to simplify for us and for you guys, because we're scaling in here. We've got a big community, and it's just getting too hard for both of us to manage it any other way. So I think this is a massive step forward. We're excited to bring you more over the next coming months. We've got even more things coming. And Ty, I guess, look, this probably closes our end to this week's one, but I'm excited for options next Wednesday. Let's do it.
Yeah, definitely. We'll bring in. I think what we'll do is we'll slowly transition people in. We'll bring in probably an options trade every week, and then we'll slowly build up to the point where we'll get a whole options webinar probably once every fortnight, because they are a big part of what we do. Like, I know you guys see us do technical analysis and that's all good, but believe me when I say 90% of our business is options, and combining that with technical analysis, and nothing would make us happier than to have a whole heap of people just like us trading options. So we definitely want to get you in there, and we do have, Thomas kind of let it out of the bag the other day, but our advanced options course has it's very close to being released by our licensee for the public. So we cannot wait for that, because that's when we really want to start talking about options, if you like, because that's when we'll be able to really explain it properly with examples. But anyway, that is coming soon. Thank you so much for joining us again. Of course, thank you for all of your support. Thomas is on in about 10 minutes, so we better give his voice a bit of a rest.
No. I'm on 45. I starting at 10:30 tonight, so 10:30 p.m.
Yeah, but we better give him a rest. It's a triple webinar day. It's a triple witching day for Thomas on every single Wednesday.
Triple witching. I like it.
triple witching day. All right, thanks everyone. Tomorrow Q&A, we're going to be doing it on YouTube as well, so that's going to be very exciting. The same. I like it. Apparently, okay. I'm going to do it exactly the same way as Thomas has done tonight, so it's going to be similar, in the unlisted. So make sure, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the unlisted channel as well, so you do get the reminders. And sorry if you're not getting reminders already, it's only because we haven't set it up, but you're going to be inundated with reminders for every webinar pretty much from next week onwards. I think you're going to find quite a bit coming on. You're going to get 2-day, 1-day, and a 15-minute reminder, I believe. So, and then you're going to get a 15-minute after the webinar to rub it in that you missed it.
That sounds like spam, Ty. That sounds like spam. No. Look, you'll be able to register for the events, and then we'll send you out if you want them. If you don't, you can always get in the Discord community. But look, there's a reason why these have been a little bit smaller recently, and that's just because they haven't been sent out through the mass mail. We will be doing that soon.
It's going to be streamlined. It's going to be very streamlined. Yeah. And look, yes, for all of you who ask, Thomas is going to have me on as a guest sometime soon.
Yeah, we need to buy you that webcam still. We're
going to
too many things on.
Actually, we've got a lot on, because this launch of this website has been a big thing, because it's not just the website, of course. It's the whole, the core structure behind it. The back end is huge. So I'm definitely going to come on. I cannot wait, actually. Can't wait to get on and meet the community, and we'll be doing some random guest appearances. But yeah, Thomas has taken us through there. It's really cool. Check out your new website, and look, and be patient with us. If there's any glitches, please let us know, because this is it's only literally just soft launched today. So if you do come across something that looks like it might be incorrect, don't kill us about it. Just let us know, and we'll get it sorted for you. And yes, that is our office in the background there that Thomas is showing you. It's pretty
One of the great things about technical analysis is that you can use the same concepts to trade whatever instrument you're interested in. Whether it's FX,
is that true? They can hear
stock
you.
market, or cryptocurrencies, the same method will apply.
Looks a bit windy out there, Ty.
I can't actually wait to meet I can't wait to meet all of the people who come to our meet, and when I think that's going to be in October. Amanda is going to organise that. She doesn't know this yet, but I'm going to make her the director coordinator of that event in Queensland. So we're going to be planning that. It's going to be in October. I know that for a certainty. So as long as COVID allows us, it's going to be a Queensland meetup. Okay, so as soon as we've got details, we're going to let everybody know, so you can book in nice and early. But we cannot wait. We would love to meet as many people as possible from the community, and spend a really cool 2 or 3 days up in Queensland. Learn some stuff. We're going to have a couple of guest speakers. It's going to be bloody awesome. Can't wait. So keep an eye out on that. Amanda is really busy at the moment, but I believe she's going to be onto it from tomorrow onwards, and we're going to actually let her know that she's in charge. So, all right, everyone, thanks very much. I will see you tomorrow at Q&A, normal time, but keep an eye on for the link, okay? We'll put it in Discord. Thomas is going to help me out setting it up, but the link will be in Discord, and we'll make it happen, and that's how we're going to run them from now on, because it's just a hell of a lot easier, and we don't have any problems with limits of people.
And it's recorded instantly for us. All right, catch everybody. See